Hi guys, welcome to my live stay-at-home workout. Thank you for joining me if you're watching on Instagram Live or if you're checking it out on YouTube later, in which case please like and subscribe for more. Alright, so this is day one of this week. I had a few extra days off this weekend so I could recover from just some shoulder pain and impingement going on. Nothing serious and feeling much better. I hope you all took the time to rest as well, and I hope you had a chance to warm up before starting the workout today. In case not, I actually, right before I took my break, made a little video of warm-up mobility drills and sort of stuff that really facilitates recovery and cool down as well. So you can check that out. It's on my YouTube channel and should provide you with lots of interesting things to do for warm-up, cool down, and all that good stuff. All right, so today is going to be squat pattern day, seeing as it's day one. This is the equipment I'm working with, just to show you. Got my mat, resistance band about 1/2 inch in width. And then I've got 10-pound ball for my weight. Anything will do. The weight is totally up to you. You can play with intensity however you like. Because I just work out with a quite light weight at home, I tend to modify the exercises to make them more challenging while still staying in a rep range that's helping out hypertrophy and a little bit of strength gain as well. Okay, so I always start with a little bit of core bracing before we get into the main resistance exercises. A couple things today. One of them is going to be a side plank, and the other one's going to be a dead bug with a 90-degree march. So I'll show you what those two things are. Side plank's going to be from the elbow here. You're basically going to be bridging up at the hips, and you're going to be a straight line from the bottom of your feet through the top of your head. You can do this a few different ways. If you want to make it a little bit more challenging balance-wise, you can stack the ankles on top of one another, and that you're going to see once you get up there is a little bit it's a narrower base, right? So you're going to be a little bit more wobbly. And there are other modifications you can make to a side plank as well. I'm actually going to do strided feet, so I'm going to do the easier version today with the top leg forward. And if it's your first time trying this, I welcome you to do the same. So from the elbow here, I'm going to bridge up at the hips. So this is a straight line up and down, okay? Shoulder stacked over elbow and so forth. I'm a straight line also from the bottom of my feet to the top of my head. I got my core tight, my ribs down. I don't want to let my rib cage flare. And the trick here is I'm squeezing this elbow in towards my torso to tighten up the oblique and the lat right in here. I'm going to hold this for a few more seconds. Then we'll switch over and do the other side. And relax. Just completely flip around. Whatever stance you were adopting, adopt the same one even if it felt easy that time. Okay, going to bridge up at the hips here. We're in that strided position. If you are in that strided position, you can totally do the stacked feet if you like. Squeezing this elbow in here towards the side. Nice straight line to the top of the head. I just let my arm chill out here. You can do this kind of stuff if you like. Some people like that. There are variations of the side plank where you're moving the arm, doing all kinds of twists and stuff. We're just going to keep it simple today. Holding for a few more seconds here. This is key, this straight line here, and to have the shoulder blade kind of protracting out there. You don't want to be I'm not even going to demonstrate it because I don't want to do anything unhealthy with my shoulders right now, but I don't want to be sort of hanging out on the shoulder blade, so I wouldn't want to let my torso sag right now and really crush down on that shoulder. That's not the idea. All right, you're going to relax. And the other one that we're going to do for core bracing is just going to be your dead bug with a 90-degree march, okay? So you're going to get on your back. You're going to have your knees bent like so. Your arms are going to be straight up in the air. So this is where we start. This is like the dead bug position, right? From here, we're going to be reaching out with the opposite leg and opposite arm at the same time. But the key here is to keep your core super tight and keep your back ribs stuck to the ground. Okay, so if your shirt starts out all wrinkly, you don't want your shirt to straighten out because that probably means what? You're arching, right? Now I'm arching the lumbar spine there. You can sort of see how things would smooth out, right? You want to keep those back ribs stuck to the ground. Keep the shoulder blades back as well. Big bracing breath to start. And now watch. This is the 90-degree march part. So I'm not extending the leg. I'm keeping the leg bent at the 90 and I'm just tapping that heel to the ground. So that's the 90-degree march part. It's a little bit of a modification on your classic dead bug. All right, so we're going to do 10 per side. That's 1. That's 2. I didn't quite tap there. That's 3. 4. 5. You should hear the tightness in my voice, and you should have that same sort of tightness if you were to try to talk as well. Because you got to keep that core super tight, keep those ribs down. That's 7, 8, 9. Keep resetting your breath as you need to. And that's 10. We're going to do each of those exercises, the side planks and the dead bugs, one more time. And then we'll have a nice 360-degree core bracing going on. You see how we're hitting the obliques, and then we're also hitting the frontal abs and the deeper abs with those dead bugs. So we're getting everything in there, making sure the core is ready for those bigger lifts, okay? So, once again, straight up and down here, bridging up at the hips, nice straight lines to the top of the head, ribs are down. If your ribs are popping out, it means, once again, you're arching in the lumbar spine, which is what we want to avoid. Nice straight line, neutral spine is the idea. Squeezing in here with that elbow all the time. Holding for an approximate 20-second count. But my counting while I'm talking is always terrible, so feel free to cut yourself off at 20 seconds if you've got a timer in front of you. And I'm going to relax here. Just switching the whole orientation once again. All right, and bridging up. The more tightness you can maintain throughout your body, the better on this one. If you notice right now, I'm pointing my toes up. That's actually helping me maintain tightness in my calves. Tightness in the legs is important with the plank too. That way the whole body is helping out, and you don't have, for example, your upper body doing, 3/4 of the work rather than half the work. You want to kind of even things out. A few more seconds here. And relaxing. One more time with those dead bugs. With the 90-degree march, okay? Big bracing breath in to start. We tap that heel down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, now our core is braced. We are ready to go. Grab a sip of water if you like. Take a little breather. So how I usually work this, 4 exercises, 3 sets of each, 10 reps of each, so we keep it in that hypertrophy range. Okay, and I like to hit the 4 big movement patterns. So we got squat today, it's going to be first, then a little bit of upper body push. I'm easing back into things with the shoulder issues last week, so it'll be a fairly easy exercise today. And then we're going to do some hinge, hip hinge that is, and then a little bit of upper body pull to finish things off. And that order is kind of also the order of importance and the order of intensity. If I were to do a really difficult exercise for all 4 movements 4 days in a row, that would kind of defeat the purpose of mixing things up and making the pattern the way that it is. Because I want to be able to do a full body workout every day, but if I do an intense full body workout for every part of my body, I'm going to quickly burn out, right? So you got to kind of even things up and balance things out. So for the squat pattern, actually you're going to do split squats. So it's going to be unilateral, so like one leg dominant, right? And it's going to be 10 reps per side. So it's actually going to end up being 20, okay? So the idea here is basically you lunge, you get into a static lunge, like so. My core is tight, I'm holding the weight goblet style, so I'm holding that weight to my chest with my elbows tucked in, okay? I'm driving through the front heel, most of my weight's on the front foot, but, and you notice I'm up on sort of like the back toe, the ball of the foot area with that back foot there, okay? And I just want to keep the core super tight, dipping down, driving through that heel. Of course, I'm clamping down with the big and little toe on the front foot for balance. All right, so you don't want those toes to be just doing nothing. You do want to be clamping down on the ground because that's going to help keep your balance. We're going to do 10 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm going to switch the whole orientation there. Okay, same thing on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If your back knee was sort of kissing the ground every time, that's okay. You just don't want to drop your weight onto that back knee, of course. So you notice how that makes things quite a bit more difficult just by making it a unilateral exercise. If I were to just do 10 squats with that 10-pound ball, it's not going to be that challenging. So this is a way, just by playing with your stance, that you can make things a little bit more difficult at home and still go after the goals that you are trying to achieve. All right, so upper body push, I'm just going to do some banded floor press. So it's going to be like a bench press sort of movement pattern on the ground with a band. All right, so just a sort of gentle way to get my shoulders back into the swing of things here. So you can also do this with dumbbells, just so you know. I'm going to do it with a band though. I got my thumbs through it, around the back, sort of around the lats there, just beneath the shoulder blades. I'm going to lay on the ground here with my knees bent, my back flat. I'm going to keep my core super tight. Now the arm position is going to be key, okay? So my upper arms, you see that, about a 45-degree angle to my torso. I'm not out here, which is a much more shoulder-dominant position, so I definitely want to avoid that today. So I'm going to keep it chest-dominant, and I'm going to keep about a 45-degree angle. And I'm going to keep, the angle of my hands is the same as the angle of my upper arm. So what I mean by that is when I press up, I'm not going to twist those fists. I don't have to, because I'm not holding onto a straight bar. So I'm free to keep that same angle, and there's nothing lost in that. Okay, so I'm going to keep that core nice and tight, just locking out those elbows at the top. That's all you're going to do. You're not going to bring your shoulder blades up off the ground. You're just going to lock out the elbows as quickly as you can, basically, or as soon as you can, I should say. I don't want you to rush the movement. Okay, we're going to do 10 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, now we're going to get into our hip hinge, which today I'm going to do some glute bridges, basically, or hip thrusts, whatever you want to call it. But I'm going to do them with my back against this surface here. So a bench will work, a chair, a bed, anything that you know is not going to move on you. So this couch is pushed up against the wall, and it's just sort of beneath my shoulder blades here. I want to get comfy with it. I'm going to take this 10-pound weight, I'm going to put it in my lap, and I'm going to start with both feet on the ground and my core tight. The idea here is I'm bridging up at the hips. I'm going to keep my eyes down on the hips the whole time, just so that I don't do this kind of stuff, because then I'm probably going to bridge too high and get into my lower back. This is all about glutes and hips, okay? Once again, a way that we're going to make this more difficult, we're going to do it one leg at a time. So I'm just going to get one leg right out of the situation here. You don't have to do this if it's too hard. You can do 2 legs. I'm going to do 1 leg. Same form, okay? So just bridging up, keep my eyes down, just like that. I'm going to do 10 of those, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Helps to give a little squeeze of the glutes at the top. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's switch legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This more or less vertical shin position is pretty important. Once again, it helps keep things out of the lower back. It helps you concentrate on the glutes. You can do it with your legs further out, but that's going to be more hamstring dominant, and it is a little bit trickier, a little bit more of an advanced position, I would say. Okay, for the upper body pull, it's going to be nice and simple. Seeing this is exercise number 4, it's going to be the least intense of the 4. All right, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to get my band, a little bit of tension on it to start. My arms are straight out, my shoulders are back and down. You can see I got plenty of neck showing. All right, I'm not shrugging. It's like a reverse shrug. From here, I'm just going to pull that band apart, keeping the core tight, and I'm bringing the shoulder blades together behind me. So I'm kind of squeezing those shoulder blades together. All right, that's the idea there. All right, we're going to do 10 of these. 1, 2, 3. Ideally, that band does come to your chest. 4, 5, 6, you might feel this in the back of the shoulders as well, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in terms of the movement pattern, that's got a lot of similarities to reverse flies, but it's a lot gentler, and what it is a great postural correction exercise. It's the perfect counter to this sort of bent over, pulled forward posture we tend to get into. All right, that's set number 1. Set number 2 and 3 are going to be a little bit quicker as I explain things a little bit less. Get some water while you can. Gonna start with those split squats. Now let's say you don't have heavy weight either and you're finding them a little easy. The next thing you can play with is tempo. So go really slow on the way down, like a 1, 2, 3, 4. You hit the bottom and then you explode up. You can do that. To make it even harder, you can add a pause. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the way down. You wait, 1, 2 at the bottom. It's gonna be hard to hold that. Then you explode up. So lots of ways you can play with tempo to make exercises much more intense without changing the weight. Okay, so let's step that foot back. We're getting into that basically static lunge. Core's tight, elbows are in, dipping down with that back knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So you might notice that particular squat pattern really lights up the quads because, once again, it's got a lot of similarities to the lunge, which is quite quad dominant. Okay. Whoops. First that happens. All right, we're gonna do that banded floor press. The knees bent, super important because it helps you keep that back stuck to the ground, right? And you cannot arch up in the back on this one. It's not a big deal when you're doing light weights or a band, but imagine you're doing a heavy bench press. Not a good thing. You might see professional power lifters do something that looks like it, but that is very controlled and they know what they're doing. So don't attempt that if you don't know what you're doing. All right, so from here, just gonna do 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Easy. Okay. Time for those bridges. Take a minute to get set up here. Make sure it's nice and snug under the shoulder blades. Weights comfortably in your lap. Eyes always down on the hips. Core is always tight. Glutes are always tight too, but a little extra squeeze right at the top of that rep, okay? So that's another thing with tempo. Right now we're pausing at the top, making it just a little bit more challenging, but also you get more bang for your buck that way. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switching legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. And we got our band pull-aparts. You can do these standing up. I'm just doing them in a tall kneel to stay in the frame here, okay? The stance is no big deal. I like the tall kneel for a lot of stuff because it means I got to keep my hips sort of locked forward and I got to keep my core tight. It's just a nice reminder, okay? Shoulders back and down. 1, 2, 3. With this one, you can do a little pause right there as you feel those shoulder blades squeeze together and back. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, little breather, then we just got one more set. Keeping it nice and short and simple today. You might be asking, for example, in an exercise like this one-legged glute thrust, hip bridge, whatever, over here, wouldn't it be the same thing if you did 20 with 2 legs down and the same weight? No, it would not, because rep range is based on what goals you're trying to achieve. So if you're doing more than like 12 reps, you're really working on muscular endurance, or if you're staying around 10, you're working on more hypertrophy. So that's building muscle, right? Not making that muscle more, have more, endurance, which is what I just said, just repeating myself there. But the point is, that's a fine goal, muscular endurance, but it's not the same goal. So it will actually do a different thing. And also when you get into those super high reps, then we tend to increase the risk for overuse injuries. So you're going to be getting a workout, sure, but you're not going to be getting the same kind of workout, and it might be more harmful to you in the long run. Hence why I mess with stuff like stance and incorporating unilateral exercises and stuff like that. Okay, let's hit these split squats now. And this is another example of the exact same thing. This is why we aren't doing 20 squats, we're doing 10 split squats per leg. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Floor press. Remember that 45-degree angle, super important. Core's tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And last time. Okay. Once again, eyes down on the hips. Cannot stress that enough. If you're happening to just do this with 2 legs because maybe you're just trying things out and you're taking it easy today, knee position is going to be important. So as you bridge out, push the knees out. All right, don't let the knees come in. Push them out. Just a little tip for you. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switch it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Relax on that. Last round of our band pull-aparts. And then, done for the day. Just gonna make this one nice and slow. Feel it like a stretch, you know what I mean? Let it open up the chest as it brings those shoulder blades together. It's gonna feel really nice, actually. It doesn't have to feel like you're repping it out or you're sweating through it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. And now it is time to cool down, foam roll, all that stuff that I showed you in, I think it was Friday's video. Check that stuff out. So there's tons of useful stuff in there. That's kind of the routine I use to both ramp up and rev down every workout. So it is really nice. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe for more. All right, I'll be back tomorrow. Take care.